Hey guys, welcome to today's Vehicle Visionary. Today my friends at Mercedes-Benz of Shreveport have loaned me this 2021 model of the Mercedes-Benz AMG CLA 35. And of course this is the 4MATIC, so that's going to mean this is an all-wheel drive model. And I'll put all the information on the screen for you as far as the exterior color and the interior color. We'll take a quick look at everything before we head out on the road, of course, for a test drive. But I can tell you right now, even though the engine under the hood of this particular model is a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, it is not lacking for the ability to get you down the road in a very quick manner and have a very good time. And it does have excellent exhaust crackles. And I'll put the camera on the bumper later on to give you a good exhaust clip so you can see exactly how that works. Now, for those of you who are AMG aficionados, you're going to notice there is not an AMG Panamericana grille. Not a big deal necessarily, but that is the way this particular model came. And as we take a look at the front end, you're going to notice here you do have your LED headlights or headlamps. You also have LED tail lamps. Now, as far as what is active and what is not here on the front end, you can tell this is not active. This vent here is purely cosmetic, but there is actually air going in right here on the side. We'll take a look back here where it comes out, and that's not to cool anything, but actually that is to help with gas mileage. So when you're cruising down the road, that's going to help you to get good gas mileage unless you tend to drive like I do and keep your foot in it quite a bit. And looking at the overall lines of the CLA 35, of course you can see the hood has very nice contour, and it really seems that the color on this model, the exterior wrap, actually really accentuates the lines as far as what you have with the hood. And of course, you got the typical Mercedes-Benz logo here, not only on the grille, but of course right here on the top of the front end as well. And of course, you do have all of your safety features. You can see some of those sensors and cameras and all over the vehicle basically. I'll list everything on the screen as far as what you have. We'll take a quick look at the remote for the vehicle. That's what you have. When you lock the vehicle, of course, you're going to see that your power folding side view mirrors will fold in. You do have the turn signal indicator built into the mirrors. Take a quick look here. Of course, blind spot monitoring indicators right there. That's going to let you know what's going on with the vehicle when people are around you. And of course, as you can see, you've got the turbo and 4MATIC logos right there. These are the 19-inch AMG multi-spoke wheels. Of course, you're going to have the body kit for the AMG model here that's going to just make this one look so racy and honestly as fast as it really is. And of course, here on the top, as you can see, you do have a panoramic sunroof. We'll take a look inside real quick here, but we'll do a better interior tour in just a minute. But I wanted to show you a good shot of that panoramic sunroof. Okay guys, as you can see here, this is the 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, not a bi-turbo, but still putting out 302 horsepower, and it's not weak and not afraid to get down the road quickly depending on how hard you're willing to press on that gas pedal. And of course, as you can see, AMG logo and the Mercedes logo here. Although personally, I would like to maybe get rid of some of that plastic, just my personal preference, but you do have a good view here of the turbocharger, the single turbo on this model. We'll just take a quick look out here. All the specs are on the screen as far as what this vehicle is capable of. 0 to 60, top speed, all that good stuff. And I do like the fact that, of course, even though it's just a single, you do have the hood strut right here that just makes opening the hood a whole lot easier. You don't have to spend time looking for anything to actually mount to keep it up. We'll close that down real quick. And of course, as we work our way down the side of the vehicle, let's just take a good look here as we pan our way down the vehicle. Very, very nice lines, very racy. I'll tell you what, Mercedes-Benz has done a spectacular job with these vehicles as far as the overall styling. Of course, as we look here, you do have the dual exhaust finishers. And no, the exhaust isn't actually connected to those finishers, but for the sound that you get, I don't think anybody's going to complain. And you do have a bit of a diffuser down there on the bumper. Not a large diffuser, but honestly, I think that's the perfect size for this model of vehicle. Okay guys, as we get ready to open the rear trunk, you do have a few options on that. There's an interior button. You can push on the top portion of the logo right there, of the Mercedes logo, or right here on the diffuser on the far left hand side. This is where you're going to actually use the motion sensor, and as you can see, that opened the trunk right up. And of course, you do have a decent amount of cargo space in here, and I always like to move everything out of the way and just lift up the floor so you can see what all is under there. As you can see, you've got your tow hook, that spare tire repair kit, all that good stuff that you hopefully won't ever need, but it is there if you do. And here's the good thing. If you see the little latches right here on each side, what that is for you to lower the rear seats. I'm gonna pull back on both of those. We'll hop inside here real quick and I'll show you how to maximize your cargo space and get that out of the way. Just gonna pull one side down, but as you can see, that is how you will maximize your cargo space. There is a reasonable amount of space in this particular model if you wish to use it. We'll go ahead and put both down. And yes, you can use that center portion as a pass-through. Like I said, guys, if you want to, there is your pass-through for whatever you might want to stick through there without having to lower the 60-40 split seats. There's still room for 2 passengers back there. And of course, we'll just take a quick look here. This is what your rear doors are going to look like. You do have a door bin right there. You've got some storage back here on the back of the seats, just a little net there instead of the map pockets. And just a quick little view here of what you have in the back seat. And of course, you do have your beverage holders right here. If you're wondering where those are, all you got to do is push there to release those. And of course, there's your fold down armrest. You also have the dual air conditioning vents, something you can actually use today. There is a USB port down there on the bottom portion of the console. And just to give you a quick little view before we hop into the front seat of what it looks like from this angle, and of course, here is the view that you would have as a rear seat passenger in the CLA 35 of the panoramic sunroof. And just in case you were interested, guys, here is what it looks like with the sunroof open. And as you can see, that slides back quite a ways. Of course, this is the windscreen that will actually help to reduce the wind noise you get as you're driving down the road. All right, guys, a quick look at what the front passenger is going to have as far as their door goes. You've got the door bin, heated and ventilated seats, and on this November day in Northwest Louisiana, believe it or not, the ventilated seats are in order. And then we begin to look at the interior a little bit closer. You can see the overall design. Of course, you do have the power seats, fully adjustable for the driver and passenger. And you even have the little area that provides support right here if you want to move that up. That's the only portion of the seat that is not power, but it is there if somebody wishes to use that. Nice bolstering in the seats. That will help you if you want to track this car, or if you're just driving spiritedly, you and your front seat passenger, the driver and their front seat passenger, to stay in place. And in the interest of fair reporting, I just wanted to show you real quick, guys. When you lock the interior doors, we'll also lock the gas door. So just in case anybody was curious about that, of course, I do have a full video on the QR code or the rescue code that is right here that first responders will use in the event of an accident where extrication is required to be able to see what's going on with the vehicle, so they can speed up the process as far as where the airbags and the charges for those airbags are located, to keep them safe and the occupants of the vehicle safe during the extrication process. Pretty much the same thing with a couple of additions here on the driver's side door of what we saw on the passenger side. Another nice door bin. Of course, there is the release for the rear trunk. And of course, you do have, again, heated and ventilated seats. And the AMG Sport pedals right there, those AMG pedals, aluminum race style pedals that just give this vehicle such a racy look. And of course, there's the controls for your headlights. You do have a manually adjustable steering wheel, but it is adjustable tilt and telescopically. All right, guys, and we'll start our interior tour here. You have the dual 10.25-inch screens. Of course, the screen on the right-hand side is a touch screen, the MBUX system or Mercedes-Benz user experience, and it is interactive. Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, of course, but you can also talk to Mercedes and ask questions like this. Hey, Mercedes.
How can I help?
How much gas do I have left?
You can still drive 106 miles.
And of course, you do have the AMG steering wheel here, the AMG logo located right there on the bottom of the steering wheel. And it is a flat bottom steering wheel. I like that just because if the steering wheel is low enough, it makes it easier to get in and out of the car. And I'll show you some of the features here. Of course, you can toggle between modes right here. And as you do that, going through each individual mode, of course, you're going to see that the screen is going to change. And so I'll show you all of the modes right there. Slippery, individual, comfort, sport, and sport plus, which is what we're going to be driving in during our test drive. And in the same manner as you have the trackpad right here and this little piece right here, if you're wondering what that's for, you can kind of rest your hand on there to help using the trackpad if you want to use that. But of course, like I said, that is a touch screen. And then the little pads on the steering wheel, kind of a mini trackpad, as you can see as I'm moving my finger back and forth. That's gonna move things around on the screen there. And then you have the home and back button here on both sides, but we're gonna take a look here at the features you have available here on the dashboard. And of course, you can go in and make changes to that if you want to, depending on what you want that to look like. We'll just go and look at a couple real quick, let that change. And so depending on your personal preference, well, you can easily make changes, not only in that area, but there's a lot of functionality here that you can use. I'm gonna go back to Super Sport just because that's my personal preference. And even though you probably can't see it very well right now because of the glare, you do have a heads-up display. Gives you a lot of good information, not only the speed, but also tells you what gear you are in. And through the Mercedes-Benz user experience, the touchscreen here, of course, you can go and look at a lot of different features, make a lot of different changes. You can turn the heads-up display on or off if you want to. Go right here to assistance, and as you can see, you have multiple features you can turn on or off, make changes to. I'm not going to cover everything here, but just so you can kind of see what's here and what's available. And of course, you can go in and change the ambient lighting, which you're probably not going to be able to see right now just because it's kind of bright outside at the moment. Let me just see if we can maybe make it possible to see that, but it's just a little bit too much of a glare out here. Well, maybe you can see a little bit over there on the door panel on the passenger side. And just the overall styling here, very, very nice. Of course, there is your ignition button right there for starting the engine, and the auto stop start feature, if you want to turn that off, that's in a very conveniently located position. Dual zone climate control, of course. And as you can see, let me get my glasses holder out of the way. Another USB port. You've got a 12-volt right here. You've got your beverage holders. Of course, we already looked at the trackpad, but as you can see, you have some little one-touch buttons there. You can change the mode of the vehicle here as well. You have multiple places where you can do that, so all you have to do is toggle that back and forth, which is what I'm doing right now. That's why it's changing modes on the screen, just depending on what the driver's preference is. Everything pretty simple and self-explanatory to figure out as far as what's what here. And of course, you do have the bomb bay doors. Plenty of space down in there, another USB port. But obviously the most important thing with this particular model of vehicle is going to be the test drive. So let's get out and get on the road. And just a real quick tip for you Mercedes-Benz owners, maybe you didn't find the tutorial on my YouTube channel that you wanted. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go to Operator's Manual. As you can see, I went to Vehicle, Operator's Manual, and here's something you might not know about. Let's give this just a second to come up. All right, let's get that to come up. Come on. Here it comes. Okay, you're gonna go through here, hit continue, and here's something you might not know about, guys. Animations. What exactly is that? If you want to know something about your Mercedes-Benz vehicle, this is all you have to do. Watch this. Just give it a second.
The multi-beam LED headlamps adapt to the driving situation and weather, thus offering greater functionality.
Without spending a lot of time on that, guys, basically you have animations there in your user manual for your vehicle to show you how things work on this model. Isn't that nice? That's a very nice feature. Tell me down in the comments, guys, how many of you are finding out about that for the very first time? All right, guys, I wanted to show you real quick on the screen right here. As you can see, you do have a view of what's going on around you in the front. And so we're gonna hop out here on the road since there's nobody coming, and I'm gonna launch this thing. Watch this. I must say, I was really impressed that launch control worked with this model. Typically, you don't get that until they are through the break-in period. Yeah, I know, I'm probably gonna get some flack on that from some people, but at least you know what it's capable of. And I hope you enjoyed the exhaust clip there, guys, because I'm gonna take it kind of easy through here because that truck right there might pull out in front of me. Thankfully they didn't. But unfortunately, I turned the camera off before it fell off the vehicle. We did a high-speed run, and apparently that might have had something to do with it falling off. It didn't fall off until we were sitting still at a red light, so kind of an interesting little experience there. But typical AMG, of course, here, obviously, steering wheel very, very comfortable. Very, very responsive. And of course, I do have everything set to its most aggressive setting here. But this is just a really fun little car to drive. 302 horsepower is not obviously the most you're going to get out of a Mercedes AMG model, but I must say, I really, really like the fact that, okay, let's be careful here. There we go. We don't want to get a crash on video, no matter who is or is not involved in it. But here's a good opportunity. I'm going to show you the red light view with the traffic camera. Basically, as we pull up here to a stop, it should come on here on the dashboard. Well, there we go. It came on, but now we're going to be taking off again from the red light. So you didn't get to see that for very long, but I hope that was enough for you to be able to see it, guys. Everything here is exactly what you would expect. And, you know, if you're looking for a really economical AMG, as funny as that might sound, this is definitely one of those. 302 horsepower is nothing to sneeze at, I guess. But it's definitely not going to just flat plant you in the seat like some of the models I've featured here on my YouTube channel have done. But still a lot of fun to drive. The shifter paddles, of course, I have used those. They work very well, very responsive. I really do like the fact that they're pretty much instantly responsive to your touch. And unfortunately, I was hoping we could kind of go through the corner up here a little bit faster, but that's probably not going to happen. But as you heard, of course, earlier, as we just kind of come to a stop here, we're slowing down. The exhaust crackles are really good on this model. And we'll get over here in the other lane. The exhaust crackles are really good on this model here. Sometimes you don't get the exhaust crackles in some of these AMG models, and it has to do with the length of the exhaust. And so some of the SUVs, 3-row SUVs that I've done in the past that were AMG models, you know, you didn't quite get the exhaust crackles that you do here. But this model, of course, as you can hear, definitely not a problem. Visibility, of course, is very good here, and just overall a lot of fun to drive. And I think it goes without saying, being that this is a 4MATIC and being that it's just really low to the ground, you definitely have no problem with handling characteristics. And for those of you who are into some of the older classic style cars, hey, there's a little something for you. Tell me what you think about that, guys. You know, some of you might want to see some of those here on my YouTube channel. We're gonna get up here in front of him and change lanes real quick. I'm trying to get up the road here a little bit to where we can maybe do a little bit of a cornering test just for the fun of it. But I must say, one of my favorite features here is the heads-up display, and I hope that you are able to get a good view of that from my point of view, from our POV test drive here. I like the fact that not only does it give you the RPM, it gives you the speed, it also tells you what gear you're in. And so I think that's a very, very nice set of features that you have available here. Just a lot of fun to drive. So we're gonna hopefully get up here. Oh, somebody's in the way, so we can't really do it. Not gonna get a good cornering test here, I don't think, but I'm gonna accelerate out of the corner here and just a little bit there. But must say, a lot of fun. Hope you enjoyed the exhaust clip. And I appreciate my friends at Mercedes-Benz of Shreveport for loaning me this model for the day. It is fun to drive, great steering, great handling, grips the road nicely. And if you're really looking again for a vehicle that you can drop the hammer on, but when you just want to drive around and not get on it real hard, you're not going to have a problem. This is a really good model with a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine under the hood. It actually does really well in every form and fashion. So I'd like to thank my friends at Mercedes-Benz of Shreveport for loaning me this model for the day, and all of you for being kind enough to take the time to watch. Really appreciate all of you guys. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out another one that is on the end screen right now, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Have a great day, guys.